Hello everyone and welcome back to SGTV. We're here in the studio with Sam Claimant from eVolt Electrical. So we've done previous episodes with Sam. Some of the things we're going to be discussing in this episode might be similar, where we were talking about your first year setting up your business. This one's going to be about expanding your business. So there might be a slight crossover here. But there is also another episode with Sam when we was talking about job routes. So again, that's one to look out for. So Sam, thank you for joining us once again.
Pleasure.
It's always a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
So yeah, as I said, we're going to be talking about expanding your business. So you've been going 8 years self-employed now, is that right?
That's correct, yes. Yeah.
So where did you, I mean, for our audience who hasn't seen the previous episode, where did you start off with your business?
Started off 2014, fully domestic company, open to taking all sort of job opportunities like anyone would. In with estate agents, building management companies, doing a bit of commercial, new builds, anything that would fill the diary. And just gradually sort of got into a stage where now we're doing solely domestic. We still do touch on other bits and aspects of the industry, but I think that's our speciality. We love doing that sort of work, so we kind of fill our diary with that. So 8 years and we're sort of looking good at the minute. Yeah, I'm happy with it.
No regrets so far?
No regrets so far, yeah. So far, yeah.
Things could change.
Yeah, they can, yeah.
So when did you get to the point where you think, right, I need to expand, or are you not there yet? Or
we're definitely at the next point. So it's funny with the company, we've gone sort of up and down, not in a sense of anything negative, just we had, at one stage, I think we had about 6 guys, including myself and Lee, who run the business. And it just become a bit of a minefield because what we did was we built all of this new clientele up, builders, contractors and stuff, but we also kept the management stuff as well. So we were just chock-a-block and it was just everywhere. And for me, thinking back now, I should have maybe taken a step back and sort of micromanaged everyone. But I love being on the tools like we all do, and sort of got stuck in. But it was just absolute chaos. So we sort of brought it back down again. And then when we got to the stage where it was really busy and we get to that stage where we're all running about like headless chickens, it's bringing someone in to sort of take that slack. And we're actually at that stage now, I think, where we could sort of take it to the next step, be it bringing someone on and I take a step back, or just bringing someone on just to help with the workload, really. So
you almost expanded and sort of pulled back to...
Yeah, I think what it was, I think our company was on a different sort of path back then, because I think we were new, we were really, really hungry, still are hungry, but we were take everything in all industries, anything that come our way, we'll have it. I'm not saying no to anything. And then we needed bums on seats, so we needed bodies in. And because we were just starting up, we didn't sort of have the finance to sort of pay the wages that these guys deserve. So we were getting sort of newly sort of qualified or electricians, mates and stuff like that to help out. Then when we were sort of going into this is what we want to do, like I think every company should do, pick what you love doing and stick with it and work to that. So then you kind of drop back a bit on your labour and then you sort of go into your finesse and what you want to do as a company. And now we're at the stage where we're doing what we want to do, but we're progressing and we're getting more and more.
So you got a bit more focus about how you want your business to sort of to grow.
Yeah.
And now you're at the point where you might be thinking about taking more people on. Or...
Definitely. Yeah. We're definitely getting to that stage now because I'm working days, nights, weekends, you name it. So it's it will help massively, and I just need to get that sorted as soon as possible, I think.
How are you going to cope though? Because you've admitted you've got a bit of a control freak aspect on your own business, which is fine. It's your own business.
I know, yeah.
But how do you think you're going to cope bringing someone in?
That's the thing. It's so difficult. I mean, anyone
just watching them like
it's just I know it's horrible. Like I love some of the guys we have working with us. Fantastic, they're brilliant, and I love them, and they do such a great job. But I always just find myself just overwatching everything, and it's a horrible trait of mine. But I wouldn't have done that. But it's not in a bad way or a negative way. It's just I want my company to do everything by the book, and everything's done proper. And and I want to instill that in the guys that work for us. And you know, sometimes that might come across like I'm a bit of a horrible person. I don't mean to be, but it's like that side of the job. It's like, you know, I want all of my jobs to be that, and it's going to be A class, and we're going to be professional, and the customer's going to recommend us, and we're going to get more work out of this. But we do it this way, and I sometimes should trust my guys to do it, but I feel like they do it, but it's like I just like to be there and I like to oversee it. So that's, for me, is quite difficult.
So that's going to be a challenge in itself for you to sit back, trust the person you're bringing in, and
absolutely,
and just let them do it.
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely got the right people in at the minute, so it's definitely at the right stage to do so. I just need to let up and stop being a control freak, really. But there you go.
But like you said, then it means maybe you can sit back, not in a lazy way, but it might put a bit more focus on how you can run your business, expand your business.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's all about sort of learning, isn't it? I mean, no one gives you a guide to how to run a business and this is what you're going to do, and it's sort of all just experimenting and trying things out. And I'm at that stage now where it's sort of like I'm grinding myself down, working all of these hours and everything, all just to keep getting somebody else in to make that easier, and would free up my time to then get more work in. So it's a really simple solution. I just have to do it.
Yeah. And I know from speaking to other people on the show, I think they were in a similar position to you at some point, where they said, I was at the point where I was so busy, I weren't quite ready to bring someone in, but I was, almost torturing myself with the amount of work I was doing. Yeah. And then bringing someone in, best thing I ever did, because it frees you up. You can bring in more work, you can expand your work, steadily, obviously. You take it one step at a time, but one of the best things they ever did for their businesses.
And I hear that as well. And everyone says to me, including my wife, says, you have to do it, because, you take a step back and you will be more useful and beneficial for your company than trying to control everything.
Yeah. You can't micromanage everything.
You can't, no.
Maybe you can, but
I'll try, but
So what's your sort of recruitment process in terms of how you're going to be bringing people in?
I really like someone that will come to me. I'm really strong on, if someone wants to do something or be where they are in their career path or whatever, you get there because you want to be there. And I really like people that will come to me and say, I wouldn't mind working for you if you got any jobs, or a youngster coming into the game thinking like, I really want to be an electrician and I love what you do, would you consider taking me on? To me is just amazing. I love that.
Shows a bit of something about them, doesn't it?
Yeah, because I think there's quite a lot of people out there that kind of just sort of kick a can about, like, we all know someone that you've probably worked with, or, in different sort of jobs and stuff, where you think to yourself, like, come on, you can do it, you're good, you're in a great position, grab it and go for it, because, not everyone gives you that chance. And I'm willing to give people the chance, but I love people that want it, absolutely love it. So for me, someone who wants it, someone who's got the desire, wants to be good, or like do what I do, like that everyone should want to do that. And there's not a minute of the day that goes by where I think the guys that would work for us wouldn't want to be what we're doing, and I'd encourage that. So like, absolutely. But that's, for me, I want that.
I know what you mean. I think, like you say, you do see people, and I'm not blaming anyone or anything in particular on how this has come about, but there are definitely people who almost feel entitled, like that they'll just think, why am I not managing director of this company, or why am I not doing this? Well, because that person's putting in a hell of a lot more effort than you.
Exactly.
They're putting in the graft. They're showing me what they've got and showing me some want for it, whereas some people just almost expect things to fall into the lap.
Exactly that.
No matter what industry you're in, you've got to work for it.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that is the battle. I mean, you get places, you get to where you are for working for it. No one gives you anything. No one. You have to work for it. So to have that is so attractive to me as an employer. Taking someone on or whatnot would be absolute must. I wouldn't consider them otherwise. Yeah. But, people sell themselves in such a glamorous way. Sometimes you have to try it. So for me, I quite like meeting, having a phone call, and you can really work someone out, can't you? You have a 5-10 minute conversation with someone, and, it doesn't have to be about work. What do you do, or like what you're into, like what football team do you support? You can work someone out. if they're a Spurs fan. I'm Arsenal, sorry. But yeah, no. So you can really get to know someone just from meeting, sitting down with them and talking. And yeah, I love someone that's got to get up and go, and that's for me. That's it. Yeah.
I've seen people having paid trial days as well. Just getting someone into your company for a day, maybe 2 days or whatever.
Yeah.
Because you'll get a feel from, like you say, if you're having an interview with someone or you've got someone in over a phone call, there's only so much you can gauge from them. And when you actually seeing someone on site doing work, asking the right questions, because I wouldn't expect someone to just come in, especially a newer person to the industry, to come in and just do everything. I'd want them to be like, can I pick your brains on this? How would you do this? What would you do? Am I doing this right? That's what you want to hear, not like, I know best, I'll crack on.
And I completely agree with you. It's exactly what I'd want from someone. It's times we've had someone like would work for you, and you know, they're just sort of waiting for you to tell them what to do, or you'll tell them to do something and they're just not questioning things or not asking questions, and you're exactly right. That has to be part of your job for wanting to learn.
But flipping on its head, it might be, they might think, I'm being tested here. If I'm asking questions, they might think I'm not good enough. I should be able to crack on. And
yeah,
but people don't want that, do they? And that's what people need to understand.
I would always say, I mean, like, you know, you get experienced electricians. Obviously, you'd be literally wasting your breath telling them because they know. But you know, when you get the young lads who don't, I'd literally say to them all the time, ask me 1,000 questions. Every question's not stupid. I'd rather you ask questions than go, I'm just going to do that because I don't want to embarrass myself. Yeah. I'd rather you ask questions. You learn, didn't you?
I think that comes from how many times have people been, whatever job they're in, they've asked a question to someone above them and they just give you a ripping. They're like, what sort of stupid question is that? What's wrong with you? Yeah, and it makes you scared to ask questions.
It is true, yeah.
And then we've got this sort of, you know, people like yourself who's probably been there or whatever.
Yeah,
now you're like, no, I don't want to do that. Ask as many questions.
It's weird. Like, even when I started, I think, to be fair, the industry has changed a little bit with that, because when I first started, I was sort of the very end of sort of like the old school generation. So we used to have like all of the older lads who'd really give you a grilling and a hard time for stupid things. And
I mean, banter's, it's part of it. That's brilliant.
I love it, and I miss that, to be honest with you, because it's like you always have the banter, but the old school stuff which is just brilliant. But they really would give you a grilling for questions. But for me, I'm sort of thinking, well, I was there and I was petrified to ask, and all I wanted was just a simple answer.
You just want to know the answer.
So me being that person and then knowing that I didn't get the answer, I want to give you the answer I didn't get. So that's basically where that comes from. Yeah. But I think that is probably the newer generation of our trade, I reckon.
Yeah.
Because
next generation.
That's it. Well, there you go. Yeah.
There we go. So talking about with the expansion of you maybe bringing someone in, what sort of opportunities do you think that will bring to your business? How do you see that would expand your business?
It's going to be really handy for obviously workload first and foremost. It's going to reduce our sort of lead time, which is going to be really important. We get quite a lot of phone calls at the minute where, you know, like everyone does, I want it done sort of as soon as possible, meaning yesterday. And you tell them that, you know, you've got 4-6 weeks worth of bookings, and they're saying, well, you know, that's not good enough, sort of thing. You're like, hang on a minute, I'm not sitting around waiting for your phone call, but it's a job and you've missed that opportunity. So, you know, getting that extra person in and bringing that lead time down even a couple of weeks is massive. Also, like I say, me taking a step back, if that was the case, to even just spend a day in the office, just to bat out some quotes and stuff like that and just win more work. So it would be really handy and beneficial, I think.
Even for your personal life as well? Give you more time for holidays, being at home?
Oh, I love a holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really important, and we touched on it earlier in the other episode we were doing one-on-one business. But it's really important to find that work-life balance, and I think that would be a huge part of bringing someone in. Because you know it really grinds you down when you're working day and night, evenings and stuff.
You don't want to be alone at home.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want it to leave you. So
yeah, I mean, like, you know, it's your job and it's your company and you're proud of it and it's your baby and you put so much love and effort into it and it becomes your life. But then there is more to life than work. You know, everyone that works wants to get home, you know, and do their life. So it's going to be massive. That will be.
I think paying something back as well, because I mean there is a trades person shortage, skill shortage, and we've all been there where we need an opportunity. You've got to look for it, like we said earlier. You've got to push for it.
Yeah.
But having someone to actually give you that opportunity that you've asked for, it's going to increase the personnel, the size of the industry, the amount of people within that industry that we need.
Yes,
it's the future of the industry, the next generation of people.
Definitely.
I sound like I'm quoting Star Trek here, like the next generation. But what I mean is that it is that next generation of tradespeople.
Definitely, and I think it's really important to create jobs and keep everything. I'm a really big supporter of like the apprenticeship scheme. That's how I've come through. I want to give back eventually to that when it's right. I don't want to do it out of pride or I want to give back instantly and put myself in a hole with it. But at the same time, I think it's really important for companies, even ones as like we're a 3-man band at the minute. Even as small as ourselves should give back and offer that sort of opportunity for these young lads and ladies coming in. But yeah, it's really important to create jobs and expanding your business.
And there are funding schemes and things available, aren't there? Grants for businesses to take on apprenticeships. I don't know. I mean, you'll probably know more than this about me.
Yeah. So the last time I looked into it, I know they changed the rule on subcontractors, so you have to be employed now. But they offer a grant. I believe it's every year. So once they finish their course for the term, you get a grant issued to you. I can't remember what the amounts are. I might not be quoting exactly, but that was the last time I looked into it, which is a couple of years ago.
If you know that, put it in the comments. Tell us how much.
Definitely, it'd be interesting to know actually.
Because that might be an incentive for people like yourselves who think it might not be a lot, but it's something. If you're worried about how you're going to pay this person's bills or even afford some tools for that person, which you could claim back in VAT, which we spoke about in a previous episode.
Exactly. I know.
But it might be the sort of incentive someone needs to think, actually, I could afford to take someone on.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's really important as well. It's not even just affordability. I think it's really important to have the right sort of teaching or teacher with someone like that. Is if you've got a young lad or lady come in and they're really dedicated and really want to learn, and they're asking all the questions and stuff, and you haven't got the right person there to teach them, I think that's so vital. For me, that was like pivotal, because the people I was surrounded with when I was at that stage helped me so much with everything, and they've been in the game 30 odd years on me, doing anything extreme. Like I think I was working with a guy, John Clear, who's the most intelligent man I've ever met. He used to rewire fighter jets. And it's just, and then there's little old me who couldn't even wire a plug at the start. Do you know what I mean? Like, how do you do this? But he would take the time to, come away from what he was doing and teach me. And that is so important.
Yeah, and those things, those people you remember forever, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I
think having some sort of role model, inspiration, it keeps you going. As cheesy as it sounds, it does.
No, it really
you never know,
does.
you might be that person to someone one day.
Hopefully. But no, it's good. I mean, we work with some really, they're legends. I love them. They're really good people. They're like the old school lot. But like owe a lot of, everything to them. So it's really important. Really important.
What sort of point do you think in a business, or whether you're there now, would you be looking to gain premises, whether it's renting or buying or whatever?
Well, funny enough, we've actually inquired recently about an office, which we've actually obtained now. So we're sharing it with a couple of friends, so which I recommend highly to anyone. So basically, we got like an office space in a building, and me and 2 friends who have their own business as well. Funny enough, in the trade. And we just basically have a desk each in the office, and we basically split 3 ways. So it's really good financially. It helps massively, obviously, with all of that. And it's nice to have a little office space, sort of go away and do your work. And when we're going to expand, fingers crossed, in the near future, it's nice to sort of just have a meeting point. And there's a meeting room within the office that we can hire out. So it's really important for if you've got a bigger client and you want to bring them in and bring, like people like yourself down to say, this is the products we can offer on your rewire and things like that. It's really, really important. It looks really professional. So so I recommend it. If you're going that way and you're that way inclined to expand your business and have that, I think it's really good.
So with that kind of thing, do you also have storage facilities? Because I know quite a few Sparkies who they don't have offices, but they'll have a big lockup somewhere just to, Put all the products and tools and cables and that.
Yeah, so I think a garage is a handy thing for that. I did have a garage, which in the last house, but then we decided to rip it down and turn it into a bar. But there you go. But
That's more important, obviously.
Well, of course, you got a work-life balance.
That's what I was going to say. You sound hungover, but it's actually.
I've just got over COVID, yeah, my friend.
It's not the bar.
I'm really
that you
selling
just
myself, but a garage is really good. I mean, a lot of people I know hire a garage out. But for me, I mean, with that office space that we've got, obviously you store stuff in there, don't you? But I don't know. I'm quite a big fan of supplying when I need it. I hate keeping stock because it gets damaged and sort of lost in the ether, sort of thing. So and when you put it on the van, it's just gonna. By the time you need it, it's just broken to a million pieces, and it's just a waste of money. But some people, like you say, have lockups and things, and they'll just go grab what they need as and when they need it. So it's all dependent on what you want to do, how you want to run the business and maintain it. And
it probably depends on the field you're working in. I suppose if you're doing a lot of industrial, commercial, where you've probably got reels and reels of armoured cable or whatever, you can't just chuck that in the back of the van and store it there. You might need somewhere where you're storing these things. Where if you're doing domestic, where the products, the cables are smaller, that might not be a need for you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for me, it's perfect. We've got 2 vans, and lad Curtis, who works with us, he's got a van as well. So between the 3 vans, we store majority of what we need. When I can't be bothered to put it in mine, I put it in there. But you get majority of what you need there, and our local wholesalers and stuff are fantastic. So we get stuff delivered to site and stuff, so it's all shiny and new. Well, you hope it is anyway, and you need it. So,
did you find that you needed to or that you wanted to specialise in something specifically? Because I know some companies will do a bit of everything, or they'll try their hand at everything, and then I know others that'll just stick to what they enjoy.
Yeah, I think it's exactly what I did. I mean, I tried my hand at anything that come my way. So I've always said, if someone wants me to quote for something, I'll do it. It doesn't even have to be electrical. I'll put my hand to anything. Recently, we built a summer house for someone. We've done all the construction side for it.
Yeah.
Never done it before. I mean, we've had like goes on doing it in our own house and stuff, but that's the sort of mentality I kind of like. I will try and I will quote it for it, and we'll see how it goes, and we'll sort of tackle that. But I think you find a path that you like doing work. Like I love domestic, I love doing extensions and renovations and stuff. So when that sort of work's coming to me like week on, week out, it's amazing. I love it. But that's the direction we want to take our company. So, but you sort of learn what you like as you do it. Yeah. You don't know till you try, do you?
Well, no.
Yeah.
And there are people out there who wouldn't want to do domestic, or they only enjoy doing industrial, and vice versa, and there's no right or wrong. It's whatever you enjoy, and if the work's coming in, then brilliant.
Exactly that. I mean, we've worked with I started in commercial. I worked with a load of guys I keep in touch with, and they recently dabbled their hand in domestic, and he said to me, he called me up and he was like, I don't know how you do it. He was like, I absolutely hate it, covered in dust, this, that and the other, chasing out. But for me, I hate doing the commercial. So it is different for everyone.
I know what you mean. I've had people saying, look, I'll go into a warehouse or whatever, and I've got nice neat cable trays, everything there. I don't need to dig anything out. Everything's just there where I want it. Terminate, done.
That's it.
And then I've gone in similar thing. I've had to climb up in someone's loft, and I've found like a dead rat, and
that's it.
I can't do it, but it's whatever you enjoy, isn't it?
It is, it is. I just love it, But it's built for what you like. If you stick to it, I think it's really important to do what you enjoy doing. Yeah, massively.
We spoke before about bringing work in and how you go about it, but I wanted to ask you about there are sites like Check a Trade where a customer can search in their local area for an electrician or whatever they need. Do you use any of those kind of sites?
Yeah, so we, funny enough, we have signed up to Check a Trade this year. A lot of my builder friends rely on it solely for them, for extensions and lofts and stuff like that. And I've kind of always sort of been interested in it. I did try My Builder once. It might be for you, but for me, it just didn't work. I didn't really like how it was set up and whatnot. But, other people might find it beneficial. With Check a Trade, everyone always highly spoke about it. I think it's probably like the one that everyone sort of knows and sort of sticks in the forefront of your mind. So I thought we'll give it a go. And so far it's great, but because we've got such a good network of trades that we work with, and they've given us such a good sort of like schedule of works. When the checker trade jobs come in, sometimes we're too busy to actually accommodate it. So although it's fantastic to sort of put a job on at the end of the day, sometimes I can't fit that job in at the end of the day. And I find personally a lot of the checker trade stuff, they want you like now.
So they're just smaller, quick turnaround jobs.
There are big jobs on there, don't get me wrong. And obviously everyone quotes for the big job because obviously that's what everyone wants. But all of these little jobs that come through, which are still important, you still need to do them, and obviously they generate a lot of money and keep you busy. But for me at the minute we're so busy, I know full well if I'm going to say yes, I'm interested in that job, they're going to want me today. So you need to be really careful, I think, with that, because if you say you're interested and then you're giving a customer a runaround saying, well, look, I can't do it for 3 weeks. I'll definitely do it, but I can't do it for this amount of time. You're going to end up giving yourself a bit of a bad reputation, I feel. Yeah. So sometimes it's better to just be honest and just be like, actually, I am too busy at the minute. So but it's plus and minuses, like everything. But if you just starting out, and checker trade is amazing if you're just starting out, because you can just fill your diary up. And you could put all these little jobs at the end of your day or fill a whole day out with maintenance and whatnot. So definitely recommend it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Fair enough. What's the sort of, I mean, without quoting figures and that, how does that work then? Do you just pay to put yourself on there monthly and then
so
or do they take a cut? Or?
So basically what they do, they sort of offer you sort of different levels of a membership, and you can have like a basic all the way up to like a gold standard or whatever they call it. And obviously the more you pay, the more reach you get, the more sort of jobs that will come to you. So if you're just starting out, it might be wise to maybe go for the higher paid one, or okay, you are paying a lot, but a few jobs would pay that monthly amount, because, you know, by the time you've done 5 or 6 call outs a month, you're going to pay for it, aren't you? So, but yeah, there's different packages and things that they offer, but it's basically you pay on a monthly schedule. And I think they offer you a few months free as well when you first start up.
Okay.
So yeah, for me, I am 50-50 with it at the minute, if I'm being honest. It's one of them sort of, I haven't really gained a lot from it, but I haven't really lost a lot from it either. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
So like I say, as long as you're being honest, and I think customers will always appreciate that. Whether you're saying, I can't do it for 3 weeks, if you're just saying, look, I'm sorry, I'm really busy, maybe I can pass you on to someone else. Exactly. You're going to, you know, I've had that. I mean, when I've had gas fitters in before, you ring in these places around and they're saying, I'm sorry, I really can't fit it in. It's like, okay, well, I appreciate that. I'll keep your number and I'll know for next time if I need you, and chances are you might use them again. So. Yeah, I mean, it's so important to do that. It really is. You know, if you can't do it for 3 weeks, say you can't do it for 3 weeks. Don't just think, oh, if I say a week, I'll keep them off my case for a week. It's so important to be like that. Yeah. You have to be. Is it worth, do you think, as well, especially as you're expanding, maybe keeping, say, 1 day a week free, not for the big jobs, but for all the little jobs, whether that's you or a couple of your team going out and just hashing them out, because they'll soon add up in terms of income, won't they? They do, yeah. I mean, that's another part of expanding the business, definitely. Pardon me. If you were to expand the business and bring someone on, you could allow for that, and absolutely you're right. I mean, we used to do that. When we first started, we were in with the maintenance company, and we used to give them 2 days a week, and we'd just fill those 2 days up, and every week it was full. But, you know, it's really hard to get that foresight that, am I going to fill those 2 days up? But it's surprising how much maintenance work there is out there. So like you say, if you were to combine checker trade and expand your business, bring someone on and free up a day, you're completely right, you could do that. Yeah. So, yeah. And as we said, again, we keep referring back to the other episode, but at that point, your foot's in the door. Even if it's just for a small job, your foot's in the door. You're building that relationship with that client, and that could lead on to... Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely anything. Well, that's how it all starts, and that is probably another benefit of checker trade as well. You know, you're getting jobs from people that you wouldn't necessarily have met, or you know, or got your word of mouth to. So it just opens up a new branch. Every customer could open up 7. So if you're expanding, putting your name out there, it's fantastic for that. Yeah. I've got an interesting question here on my list. Is hazards of working in a domestic property. And like I said, I've heard people finding dead rats, all sorts of weird stuff. But what sort of hazards do you find? Plumbers. No, it's to be honest with you, there's hazards everywhere, isn't there? Let's be honest. I mean, like,
I find a lot of the times when we were doing the extension work and stuff, it is literally like the dangers, you know, when you're working around like all of these big machinery and stuff, and they're putting these massive whacking steels in, and there's only like a strong boy holding it up, and you're thinking, I'm working, yeah, and you're thinking, or you're standing working underneath a whole building that's had both elevations taken off, and you're thinking, I haven't even got a hard hat on, because, you know, domestic sites, it's not really like that. It should be, but
I know builders with tons and tons of experience who still to this day they will avoid steels at all costs if they can, because it just makes them nervous, because you just don't know what could happen sometimes. I know some people out there will probably be like, well, I'll do it all the time, which is fair enough, but you know, I've seen a lot go wrong.
But yeah, no, it's crazy. I mean, like, another hazard as well is you know, previous work as well. You go into, like you say, lofts, and the shoddy stuff you find sometimes with like exposed cables just hanging there underneath a bit of insulation, and you're just going about your job, and next thing you know, you get bolted, or you know, it's like, it's a nightmare. Yeah. You have to be really careful.
And does that have unforeseen sort of cost implications, or is that something you always just bear in mind?
Yeah, I mean, if we're doing like if we're doing an extension, it's kind of all new, so you're kind of, you know what you're going to expect. But when it comes into the existing house and stuff, we always add like a little bit for implications on it. I mean, you just don't know what you're going to find, and no one's got the time in the world to go and quote a job and they say, you know, I want 6 downlights in here and rewired this room, and you're not going to go in the loft and start ripping up, you know, like all the insulation and start checking the junction boxes before you quote. No one's got the time for that. So putting that small sort of like add-on, it does help. Yeah, definitely.
And I mean, I'm guessing that takes some learning to do. It might sound simple, but just
it's not
having
simple.
That sort of understanding that whatever you're going into is not necessarily going to be as simple as you think it might be.
It never is. The simplest of jobs are usually the toughest ones. I always find that. You know, you could give yourself the easiest job. Like, I know I keep relating back to it because it's always the way. 4 spotlights in a room from a centre light, and then you find the chaos that's been left by the previous electrician, and it's just like headache. And you know, it's something simple like that, and it's just a nightmare.
Any good horror stories?
It depends. To be honest,
it's not for camera.
Yeah, we still rolling. Horror stories. I mean, there's always to be fair, there is a horror story actually. There was a really scary one actually when we were in. I was working for my company. I did my apprenticeship for Lauren Lloyd, and we were working opposite Scotland Yard at St James's Park, I think it is, in London. And we were working in the hotel opposite Scotland Yard. And me being the young apprentice in the generator room, in the mains panel room, working alongside my superior at the time. And he was lifting off the panel, this big 3-phase panel. And all of a sudden, as he lifted it off, the whole room went black, a huge bang, and he disappeared basically. And I was absolutely shocked and didn't know what happened. Generators kicked in, lights come on, and he was over the other side of the room. Luckily, fine, absolutely fine. But basically what happened was the armoured cable that was going through the panelling, it hadn't been grommeted on the metal.
So it just sheared up.
Sat on the door, and where he took the door panel off the weight, the cable hit and livened up the whole thing and sent him flying.
He's lucky.
He was very lucky. Yeah, I was petrified at the time.
Bet,
I was only 18, and I thought, oh my God. And then I thought, do I really want to be doing this? But yeah, that's probably one of the worst ones. But yeah, he's fine. He's fine. So
let's talk about CPD. This is something a lot of people either do or don't do.
Yeah.
So how do you find it works for you, especially as you're trying to expand your business?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's always important to sort of keep learning and sort of studying and putting yourself into these situations that you normally wouldn't. I think it's really big now, isn't it? All the CPD and sort of online courses and things like that. But I think it's really, really important to sort of just throw yourself in. For me, with the electric vehicle car charging course that was going around before people were having them done, you know, we all knew it was going to happen one day. As soon as the course came available, I just threw myself in it because I thought it's going to happen. Everyone's going to have one. It's to get ahead of the curve sort of thing. And just sort of reading up online and forums and social media is a fantastic thing to sort of pick up on things, you know, even something simple like new tools and things like that, you know what I mean? You just wouldn't know unless you're sort of studying and researching. And I think it's really important, if you don't know something, you should find out as well.
Find the time to do it.
Absolutely.
No matter whether you're busy or not, just
so
make
important,
time.
so important. You shouldn't just be doing it just because it's, you know, someone hands you an instruction book and you put it in and you just go, well, I don't know, but that's what it tells me. You should know. So you should definitely make time and understand it, 100%. So, yeah.
Before we finish this episode, I just want to ask you your personal sort of message to anyone who, you know, they're starting out their business, they're in their business, they're thinking about expanding. Any golden bits of advice you'd give to them?
I'd just say just keep going and doing what makes you happy. More importantly, it's really important to just stick to what you know and what you do. It's really easy to get wrapped up in all of the rubbish that comes along with what you do, and I think you just need to concentrate on your goal and just sort of like lock in and go, that's what I want out of this. This is what I want to do, and it kind of finds its way to you, I think. For example, for my situation, when I first started, it was everything everywhere, and then you kind of learn to go to a sort of line where you're like, that's what I want, and if it takes longer for me to get there, I'm just going to stick to that goal, and you'll find yourself slowly going. It doesn't matter how long it takes, as long as you're going that way and you want to do it, then brilliant.
Yeah.
That's what I
think mindset is massive. Yeah. Like you say, it's easy to sort of focus on the negatives and let the negatives or the hurdles sort of get you down and beat you down, but it's not going to achieve anything. And I know it's so easily said than done, but just picking a goal and focusing on the positives and keeping forward, and before you know it, you've chiseled away at one thing, and then you've got to the next, and then you've got to the next, and then your business is expanded. You might have made things a little easier for yourself, you know, whether that's working physically or financially or anything like that. It all just adds up one bit at a time.
Definitely, yeah. It's all about, slow progress and just keep building. As long as you're progressing, doesn't matter how long, just keep doing it step by step, definitely.
Brilliant. Sam, thank you for joining us once again.
Thank you very much.
As I said before, we've had Sam on the show talking about Business 101, sort of starting out your business. We've had him on as well on a Zoom conversation, talking about the various routes you can take as an electrician, so keep an eye out for them. As always, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification button below. Follow Sam. Where are you, Sam? What are you on?
Instagram, Facebook, Evo Electrical Limited.
Feel free to plug your handles.
Yeah, please follow.
Yeah, but seriously, make sure you follow. He's got some good stuff on his social media, so check them out. What is your?
It's at Evo_Electrical_Limited.
Let's think about that.
I did, yeah. Caught me off guard.
All right then. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers, thanks.